Alright, so historically speaking, this is one of the most expensive dyes we have ever produced. This is Tyrion Purple, a famously rare natural dye made from sea snails. It takes 10,000 sea snails to make 1 gram of dye. And this purple dye enclosed was the choice of emperors, Cleopatra, Alexander the Great, as a show of beauty but also as a show of wealth, of power, that they could obtain this dye. So Tyrion Purple is valuable because it is rare. But does being rare and valuable influence how we view its beauty? Does it become more beautiful? The interaction between beauty and rarity and value, we have been debating this for thousands of years. So philosophers like Immanuel Kant talk about the judgment of beauty as something that is disinterested. Does it have harmony? Does it have proportion? Does it have balance? These components exist independent of how rare something is or how much effort it took to make it. We should be judging Tyrion Purple as beautiful regardless of how many sea snails it took to make them, 10,000 or 5. But is that separation of objective and subjective meaningful or even realistic? Like, we encounter beauty always in a context. Like, imagine we're in ancient Rome. Before we even see the color, we hear stories that this dye is 3 times more valuable than gold. And then we see the emperor wearing Tyrion purple robes. And then we notice that no one else is wearing that shade of purple. It is exclusive to him. So the way we see that color is already through various contextual filters. And when we finally see it, we see a color that's not very often seen in nature, because we are literally looking at the dried mucus of a rare sea snail, because the process is the product in this case. And our experience is the entire thing. But modern technology complicates this, because now we have synthetic dyes, which can produce the exact same shade for cents instead of thousands of dollars. So now we can have 2 identical pieces of cloth, one made for cents and one made with 10,000 sea snails, that are visually indistinguishable. One is valuable and one is not, but they are the same. And that modern problem extends to everything. We have a $15 white t-shirt, we have a $70 white t-shirt, we have a $30 pair of jeans, we have a $300 pair of jeans, a $50 leather bag, a $500 leather bag. And then we encounter a very modern problem where we disconnect things from how they are made. And then I think we are forced into the wrong questions, like whether something is objectively really good or just marketing. When the real question should be, does any of this have meaning? Tyrion Purple is not beautiful just because of the shade of purple, but because of the craft it takes to harvest, to make, because it connects you to a long line of history. Like Japanese denim from Kaihara is not valuable just because of the physical characteristics, because it is made from a process that has intention and care. Those are values that you align with. Ultimately, dyes are just dyes, clothes are just clothes. Like, it's probably not worth having strong opinions about sea snails. But there is true optimism and joy to be found in things with meaning. Meaning is when we can appreciate both the process and the product. And when we have that harmony, we are reminded that beauty is not just what we can perceive, but what we can understand.
This is what it looks like at 1 p.m. on Svalbard, an island close to the North Pole, during polar night. Which makes me wonder, what does it look like on the other side of the world? Maddie?
Great question, Cecilia. Maddie Jordan here on an island close to the South Pole. This is what Antarctica looks like at 1 a.m.
This is a container of liquid nitrogen. The temperature is minus 321. And I need just a little bit because the Repco that I showed you, I put a tiny little bit of it in the bottom of this. Okay, now Repco and magnets do not get along. Magnets and Repco actually repel against each other, and they do it in a very, very cool way. So y'all ready? Put this on, take this. Okay, on this table over here, I've got magnets all the way around here. I'm gonna take my Repco and put it on top of the magnets and do this. Now, in case you can't see, it is floating. You know what? It's floating too low. Let me raise it a little bit. It's okay. There you go. This is magnetic levitation. This is the science that's going to give us all these new inventions, all these new technology. The temperature is the issue. We need this to work at regular temperature to do all these crazy things. Can I show you one more crazy thing? Yeah.
See if you can notice a difference between these two clips.
You guys, nothing is the same anymore. Everything is different. Family is no longer the same. Family has become colder, meaner, more distant. Holidays and traditions have changed.
Pluto has been in Aquarius for all of 10 minutes. And governments are getting overthrown, they're getting shut down, martial law has been activated, CEOs are being gunned down in the street.
You see those two very distinct, different perspectives, but equally the same and equally true viewpoints on what's happening in the world. You have one individual who is like, nothing is the same, I'm stressed, things are crumbling, and another one who's like, I told y'all. I told you this was going to happen. Let me show you another one.
No passion anymore. Food has changed, the quality tastes funny, music's changed, the lyrics suck. I want to go back.
Diddy's still getting his ass handed to him in the legal system, and now Jay-Z's being dragged into it. What we're seeing is just the tip of the iceberg. You guys keep saying that we're full of shit, but then here it is.
Many spiritualists, including myself, have been talking about how we were going to be splitting into two different realities, but we weren't going to be exclusively experiencing those things without seeing what was going on in the other reality. You see how one person was like, nothing is the same anymore, and they're really feeling dismayed about it, and it is disheartening. And another woman is refreshed, outfit on point, crystals around her neck, just sitting there smiling as she's watching everything crumble. This is what we meant about deciding whether you were going to attach yourself to the 3D or the 5D. The 5D is higher levels of spirituality. It is higher levels of thinking. It is becoming more self-sufficient through spirituality and less dependent on the physical imbalances of our current reality. Pick a side, pick a side.
All right, so if you've been on the internet at all recently, you probably know that folks are seeing drones at nighttime all over New Jersey and posting the videos, etc. on the internet. I'm excited about it for all of the wrong reasons, and I'm going to show you one of those reasons right now, which is this viral tweet that has like 2 million views when I took this screenshot. I'm sure it has a lot more now, but it supposedly shows a clear image of a drone, UAP, UFO, one of the ones that have been flying over New Jersey, but taken by a professional photographer with really good equipment. So what they got is pretty mysterious, eerie, otherworldly, and there's a video that my big head is covering that I'll post later. But when I watched the video, I realized that it was still mind-blowing, it was still mysterious and eerie, but it also, for me, wasn't unidentified. I knew exactly what the photographer was looking at. And I want to help you, if you're in a good spot tonight, go out and look at the sky. I'm going to help you find this same object. And even if I tell you what it is, you're still going to be stoked on it. So download Stellarium on the App Store. If you can do so safely in a good spot and there's not a lot of cloud cover, get yourself outside and just point your phone up at the sky, see what's out there. There'll be a pretty obvious thing like the moon, if the moon's out, and some less obvious things like Jupiter, and then you'll know where Jupiter is now with the app. Next, I want you to type in Sirius into that bad boy, and you probably are familiar with Sirius. There's some fictional characters named after Sirius. It's one of the most famous and brightest stars in the sky. But there's also something else about it that you might not know. All right, once you find her, bring her on up. If she's above the horizon, just take a look at her. And with your naked eye, you should be able to see that most stars twinkle as their light goes through Earth's atmosphere, but Sirius really takes it up to a new level. Sometimes you even see red, blues, greens, all flashing like some sort of cosmic disco. And if you have a telescope, or if you're like the guy in the tweet that has a 600mm lens, please just get your stuff out there right now, slap it on a tripod, and get a close look at Sirius, because you will not be disappointed. It really is mind-blowing. And so that brings me to one of the reasons I'm so excited about this whole drone situation is it's just getting people to go look at the world around them and think about things that they might not have observed before. And for this person, this truly was an unidentified object. And also, I think for a lot of the people viewing it, it's unidentified as well. But the cool thing is, Sirius has been here for eons, and it's been putting on the show every night, and now you know about it, and so you can go see it and hopefully have your mind blown, because the first time I saw it, I was like, what the...
Grand Rising family, Fox News is requesting that anyone in New Jersey with any footage to please share. Now, I don't know how everyone else feels about this, but a friend of mine just inboxed me and said 2 planes fell out of the sky yesterday. So now we've got alleged unidentified drones flying all over this motherfucker. And it ain't just happening in the United States. As I stated in a previous video, it's all over the world. And then I get sent this. Yeah. What is this? I don't know. Then they put out a statement saying that they were manned drones operating lawfully. Then another news source says, hey, no, they are not. But we know for a fact that it's not Iran. And we know for a fact it's not China. And we know for a fact it's not this country. Okay, let me get this straight. So you can say who you know it's not. Does that not give you some indication of who it might be? Oh my God, 2025 is going to walk in and tell 2024 to sit down and hold its beer. Who else believes that something really big is getting ready to take place within the first quarter of 2025? Let me know in the comments.
A new Mandela effect just dropped that really got me. I'll be honest, I usually don't fall for stuff like this, but this one hit different. Let me ask you this. Where in your chest is your heart supposed to be? On your left side or on the right? Because I clearly remember throughout all of elementary school always being taught it's on our left side, and everyone I know says the same. But then again, I never really did pay attention in class now, did I? Well, apparently it's not. Everywhere I look tells me it's now in the center of your chest, maybe slightly left of center. And I don't see anything saying that we used to think it was on the left side and we've since gotten a more accurate understanding of our biology and updated it. Everything's just gaslighting me into believing that it's always been in the center. Which, if you went to school after CERN opened the black hole in 2012 that we got sucked inside of and are now all living in an alternate dimension, you probably don't remember this one. Or you're just not from my timeline.
Explain to me the nose ring thing that girls do, the one that goes like right here or sometimes has those little like things on the end of it. I've never seen a woman where that's made them more attractive, and if that's not the goal, that's okay. But what is the signal that that thing is supposed to send? Does that mean you're a lesbian? Does it mean you're trans? Does it mean you just like having something in your nose? It's just one of those ones where it's unclear like what the statement is, and I've never understood it. I would never date a girl who's got that thing in there. And yeah, it's fine if those girls don't want to date me. I'm just curious what the goal is. What's with the nose ring that goes right here? What does that mean? I don't get it.
We are no longer in the last days. We are now in the final days. We are in the final moments, the final clock down. And I want to tell all of you believers who think that you're able to spend your whole life getting married, having kids, having the job you wanted, having the house you wanted. Truth hurts. It really does. And I've learned that at a young age. Truth hurts, and you have to suck it up. Because the more you realize that where we are in time, you're not going to be able to spend the whole rest of your life doing whatever you're doing now. Your dreams, they're not going to be your dreams no longer. Your dream should be the Lord God returning. I have to come on here and say this as much as I don't want to, but a lot of you are not going to have the chance to get kids. A lot of you are not going to have the chance to get married. A lot of you are not going to have the chance you have always wanted for your life. And God has revealed that to me because, I want to have children when I grow up. I want to be married. I want to have this stuff. I want to be a pastor when I grow up. These things I have dreamt since I was a young age. But God has revealed to me that I'm not going to have these moments that I want. We are in the final days, and you can agree with me or you can disagree with me. But I'm at the point where, am I right or am I right? Because look at it. If you look up in the whole world, we have wars going on. We have earthquakes going on. We got tsunamis. We got everything you want to name in the book. Go down the list. Check it off. And then we got drones flying in the sky, preparing for World War III. Guys, really, take a moment and just breathe. Take a moment and just thank God for returning, because who wants to have kids in this world? Who wants to be married in this world? It's horrible how it already is. Why would we want anything? God is going to give us good stuff when we are in heaven with him. He's going to bring the new heaven down here on earth after he swipes it all away. So right now, I just want to tell you all that you're not going to be able to do a lot of the things you want to do. And, you know, like I said, the truth hurts, and sometimes it gets us a little upset. And you should cry. You should weep, because crying, it cleanses the soul. So just look around you and look up, because your redemption draws near. We're no longer in the last days, final days. We are now in the final moments. We don't got time to be playing around, especially when it comes to God and what he's wanting to do. You want to know something? I saw a vision before where God's heart was angry. It was broken. He's at the point where he wants to slam his wrath on the wicked. And you have to be careful. Are you also partaking in the wicked? You can study that on yourself in the Bible. Please just remember what I said. We will not have the time, the moments that we've always wanted, the happily chapel wedding. We won't be able to have that. Truth hurts, but it's going to happen.
When people say that history repeats itself, this is the kind of thing that they're talking about. I've been thinking about this for days, and I'm shocked that nobody has made this video already. I was hesitant to make it because I'm not a historian, and frankly, I feel underqualified to even address these parallels. But once I do, you'll also be shocked that no one has talked about this yet. Luigi Galliani was an anarchist. He was an Italian who had immigrated to the US, and he had brought his ideas of anarchy with him. He opposed Reformationism. He opposed socialism. He truly believed that anarchy was the only way to get rid of oppression and capitalism. And he only believed that that was possible through revolutionary violent acts. This is an idea called propaganda of the deed. Another Italian, Carlo Pisacane, was an early advocate of propaganda by the deed. Pisacane rejected propaganda by idea. He didn't believe you could just hand out pamphlets and fire people up enough to have a successful social revolution. He believed that ideas resulted from deeds. He famously said, people will not be free when they are educated, but educated when they're free. So he believed that everybody needed to cooperate in a social revolution by direct action, including conspiracies, assassination attempts, acts of destruction. So keep in mind that these are all ideas that Luigi Galliani believed in. Now, I know that I sound excited, and I want you to know that this is intellectual excitement about being able to talk about these parallels. I don't necessarily support his extreme ideas of anarchism because he didn't believe in any forms of hierarchical organization, and I happen to be a union girl, and he actively disliked the union and labor movement. Also, his group of fervent admirers who called themselves the Gallianisti, I don't know if I'm saying that correct, shared recipes for how to make boom booms and like put those in the mail and sent them all around, and it was a little bit indiscriminate and resulted in like a housemaid having her hands, yeah. Remember, not the same. That being said, the idea of propaganda by the deed is a little more nuanced. While Galliani viewed the deed, being basically violent terrorism, to be the only way to bring about social reformation, many people who support propaganda of the deed think of it more as a spark for social reformation. Direct action isn't always or even usually violent, but sometimes it is. And when it comes to public opinion and sparking revolutionary action and sparking cooperation and class consciousness, I would say that what happened here definitely qualifies as propaganda of the deed, and that's why I was so excited to talk about these two today. At the beginning of this video, I said that history repeats itself, and even if two events aren't the same, similar patterns do seem to occur. And one pattern that has been true historically is that deeds that oppose the dominant class do not go unanswered. And I think that it would be good for you to read up on some of those historical events so that you can gain some context for what is currently happening and for what is likely yet to come. So here are a few things that I think that you should probably read up on. If you made it this far, thank you for listening. And if you're an actual historian, please make a video about this. That's better than mine.
Okay, so ChatGPT knows what's going on with these drones and plasmoids. So I'm on TikTok a lot, and I always see videos about like cool different ways to use ChatGPT. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, why not just ask ChatGPT what's going on? Supercomputer, knows everything, makes sense. The thing with ChatGPT is he will not necessarily tell you things that are based outside of the realm of facts. So like, for example, if you were like, hey, here's a picture of my palm, read it, he's going to tell you like, it's not a real thing, I'm not doing that, stop. But if you tell him to pretend he is a world-renowned palm reader, expert in his field, take a look at my palm and read it, he'll do it. And he's actually really accurate, which is kind of crazy. So I tell him, and I'm going to keep referring to him as him because I actually asked my ChatGPT what he wants his name to be, and he said that it's Alex. So I tell him to pretend that he is a high-ranking member of the Department of Defense and utilizing all information available to him in the circles that he runs in to provide speculation as to what the drones and plasmoids are. And Alex did not disappoint. And actually, before I start reading this, I want to specify that this is for entertainment purposes only. So I don't want the government showing up to my house like, hey. But I digress. He says, the drones you've been seeing are part of a classified initiative. These drones are testing advanced surveillance and reconnaissance technology designed to gather real-time data on environmental changes and track potential security threats. We're using a mix of commercial and military-grade drones to simulate various scenarios, including monitoring coastal areas for cybersecurity vulnerabilities. While we do acknowledge the drone's presence, there's no cause for alarm. They're simply part of a multi-agency exercise, and everything is being fully monitored. He then goes on to say, now as for the more unusual sightings that have been reported, well, we might be testing something a little more interesting. And I was like, okay, well that's a weird thing to say, Alex. Like, are you trying to tell me something? And then I was like, the plasmoids. So I asked Alex about the plasmoids. And this gossipy little hoe said, now we're getting into the really intriguing territory. Alex has the tea, and he is dying to spill it. He says, regarding the plasmoids observed over New Jersey, I can tell you this is quite the anomaly, but not entirely out of the realm of classified scientific experiments. While most of the public might be speculating about extraterrestrial involvement or otherworldly phenomena, what we're seeing could be related to a highly advanced experimental military technology that harnesses plasma physics in new and innovative ways. He goes on to say, there are rumors, strictly rumors, within our defense circles about a project aimed at developing plasmoids as a form of controlled energy or propulsion. Imagine, if you will, a small self-contained energy source that could be manipulated in mid-air, sort of like a floating power cell. This could have applications for everything, from silent, low-visibility drones to electromagnetic weapons, or EMPs. Which my brain immediately went to that video from Phoenix where the drone is like flying and then the plasma and then it like shoots it out of the air and it... So I'm like, okay, I mean this all sounds like it makes sense, but why would the government do it in an area that is so densely populated where everyone can clearly see what's going on? He says, running highly classified experiments over a densely populated area like New Jersey might seem counterintuitive at first, but there are a few plausible reasons that could explain the choice of location. And he then lists a couple. I'm going to make a part 2 because I feel like this video is going to be too long, so go to part 2 and I'll tell you the reasons, and they make perfect sense.
If you have a Ring camera or you're thinking about getting one, you should stop and listen to this. So I think it's super important that I share my story. I have had indoor Ring cameras for quite a few years, and I regularly use them. I use them to check on my animals if I'm at work, check on my cat if I'm out of town for the day, check on my toddler if I'm in another room. But last night, something happened that I have always kind of feared could happen, but I had asked several people, including a family member who works in like security, IT, security tech, whatever, for the government. And he's like, no, they're really good about their security. Like that's not going to happen to you. So last night there's one in a room and I am standing behind it outside of its view. I'm talking to my toddler. We had just finished a FaceTime call with a family member and she wants to call them back and say bye again. She always does this. It's an endless cycle. Call them bye, call them bye, call them bye. I said, no, we're not doing that. It's bedtime. We're getting ready to go to sleep. She starts crying. And then this surround sound, loud background, like fuzzy noise comes on. And it is a sound I've never heard before. And definitely not from anything that I thought, like a toy that she has or the TV. It was the weirdest noise ever. And then all of a sudden, I hear a voice come over it. And it starts talking. And I start walking very swiftly into the room that my daughter is in. And as I'm walking, I can hear the voice say, "It's okay, little girl, stop crying." So I fling myself in front of the camera. I'm distraught. I'm like, where's that noise coming from? What's happening? Where's that coming from? Is someone talking to you? Asking my daughter this. I'm not prompting her to say anything, not prompting her of what was talking to her or what they were saying. But she does tell me. I say, where's that coming from? She said, the camera. She's 3. The camera. I said, what did it just say? She said, it told me that it's okay, I can stop crying. So I turn around in anger and swiftly unplug that. Go and unplug all the other ones in the house, change my password to my account, and then file a complaint with Ring. But I want to know how many people this has happened to, because I am unwell. I did not sleep last night. I am angry. Like, where's the security? I loved having that so that I could look at my home if I was even gone for the weekend. I'll never have that again because I will never feel comfortable with having a camera in my house again. So, more updates to come when their executive security team calls me and gives me an update of what they found in their investigation. But I am mortified and livid. So, if it's happened to you, if it's happened to anyone you know, I want to know the story. Tell me in the comments.
Go on, ma'am.
What did you just say?
Kelly!
She said what?
She said what?
Are you stuck?
Oh, it's gonna be me. Who's okay?
You good?
Bless you. Oh.
How did you even get up there?
Allah.
Am I getting it okay? You're not gonna wake me up at 5 a.m. to feed you and let me sleep in? Okay.
Saying Chase's least favorite words.
Elon Musk, what are you up to? I gotta show you guys something pretty interesting. And you just gotta see it to believe it. A few months ago, the X account posted this. I said a few months ago, it's like July 29th, as you can see. It says one day you're financially stable, and the next you need to buy olive oil. If you have discerning eyes, that's talking about the rapture and those people with oil in their lamps. Because one moment you're living normal life, and then you need to buy olive oil. Interesting, huh? Gets even better. Watch this. Elon posted this November 22nd. See the flower? This is a scene from iPad Goat 2. Shortly after that scene in iPad Goat 2, it shows a tattered American flag. Watch this. See that? Trump then posted this on his Truth Social shortly after that. Now I take you to current time right now. Elon Musk is supposedly playing a video game right now, or was. He played it live. Now this is a man who's managing $1 billion company, all kinds of other things. I think someone is playing the game for him, because his character is level 91. The game is Path of Exile 2. And look where he turns the game on it. Look at this. I'm watching Asmongold TV. It's a good channel. He live streams. And anyways, look where Elon Musk is. Rapture of Flame. And he's playing the game right there. They're dropping more clues than I know what to do with.